If you are feeling like you're insane, everything feels just stupidly hard lately, you're not alone. You've probably noticed some videos, at least I have, of people talking about this, just feeling like they're burned out. They don't care. There's no motivation. This was happening to me for a while, and I started thinking, let me adjust here. Super was in my head, beating myself up. Um, why can't I get anything done? Why do I just feel so unmotivated at work and in my personal life? I've been really pushed myself to work through that, right? Still want to take care of my responsibilities, but just feeling so exhausted. Um, as I started to see just different videos, people talking about this, just people in my personal life talking about that, just really started to connect that something bigger is going on. And we have to look at really the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, I think this is building up before then, but things are shifting in our society. Our institutions are crumbling. Things we used to trust that used to provide us with a lot of security and comfort and direction have really, I don't know that I'd say they're failing us so much as we're just starting to see through them and realizing that there's more to life. And what it seems like right now is, I like to frame this as the universe is really inviting all of us to shed what doesn't matter and focus on what does. And in an age where everything is trying to get your attention, and what feels like most of what's trying to get your attention is really not helpful. I mean, the news is just clickbait, right? It's just bad news. I never watch the news and feel better after. I never read the news and feel better, like, oh my God, I'm so glad I checked out the news today. It was super uplifting. It's just this framework of creating a narrative for us that the world is so dangerous and so awful, and there are awful things. There are a lot of good things. And I think right now, the universe is really challenging us to wake up. And I feel like there's an awakening that's happening right now with society, with the human race, especially for sure in Western culture. That the more you try to focus on yourself, the more you try to do the right things, the noise and everything else almost feels like it's just getting louder. Like, the more that I try to avoid watching the news, the more that I try to avoid being aware of things like politics and all this stuff, it's almost like it just gets more intense. It's like there's like a difficulty mode. I saw this super funny Instagram post, this guy jokingly saying, like, and who's ever in control of the simulation, can you turn the difficulty down? That's literally how it feels. Like, everything is just trying to get your attention, and it seems like I said, those things are just not very helpful. So I feel like right now we need the basic human things more than ever, things that we've used to evolve over the years that have, lack of a better term, been hijacked. And that's human connection. It's one of the things I noticed coming out of COVID. Understandably, we were dealing with social isolation and distancing, and we've got these gadgets in our hand, which aren't bad. I can't talk too much crap, right? I'm using one right now. But we've got these gadgets that have led to the creation of an evolving, shrinking world, meaning the more we focus on these, it's just becoming more and more convenient and more comfortable to be alone, to be numbed out, to doom scroll, to feel like, oh, I don't need to go see my friend. I don't need to go see my mom. I don't need to go see, I can just text them. Oh, I'll text them later. I'll call them later. We've created so many conveniences now, and so many ways to quote unquote feel like we're connected, like the illusion of being connected, that we're not connected at all. And that involves our social circles, our communities, and what I feel like most importantly, ourselves. We're not connected to ourselves. There's no moment to sit and just be bored. There's no moment anymore to just sit and be quiet and be still and listen to yourself, just to watch the sunset, to go for a walk. It has to be, I have to have music, I have to have my phone, maybe I've got an email, maybe I've, like, something's been deposited in my bank account. There's so many things that are just, we're not meant to take in all this information. I'm not meant to know what's going on halfway around the world every single second. And it's always bad news. We're just not meant to take that in. As a society, we have really lost the ability for one to just be bored. We assume that boredom is like a bad thing. Like when I say that, bored, I'm bored. Well, do something. You need to be doing something. You're being lazy. You're not being productive. What is wrong with being bored? What's wrong with just not doing anything? Sometimes, not all the time. But our now what feels like a need or addiction to just constantly be entertained, looking something up, really has us disconnected from ourselves. And with everything going on, it really feels like we're on this course of, we need to start waking up. The universe, I think, is really sending this message right now of making everybody feel really uncomfortable, really bored, really unmotivated, really unhappy. Not because any of us are doing anything wrong. And maybe I could look at it as, the thing that we're doing wrong is we're trying to fix that feeling. We're trying to run from that feeling. We're trying to outwork that feeling. We're trying to out eat that feeling. We're trying to out drink that feeling. We're trying to out social media that feeling. We're trying to run to our technology, run to all of our vices, run to all of our escapes, run to all these things that we think will take that feeling away. And what we really need to be doing is leaning into that feeling and exploring, what is this trying to tell us? Because I know for me, and I think this will be true for a lot of you, is I'm disconnected from my relationships. My relationships need attention. The relationship with me needs attention. We need to get back to basic things like creating a community. I was talking to someone a little younger, so he's 18, and he was frustrated. He's living in an apartment, and he was frustrated. His neighbors are being loud late at night. And he's tried this, he's gone to the management, he's tried to leave notes on their door, all this stuff. And I just said jokingly, have you tried to just knock on their door and just talk to them? And it wasn't that he said no. His face, when I even suggested like a face-to-face interaction, was more like if you told somebody that was like 10 years old to physically roll up a window. Like if any of you remember that, like, what do you mean roll up the window? I just press a button and it didn't compute. And I feel like that's a big problem with where we're at, is we're so disconnected from each other. And what I mean by that largely is we're so focused on technology and national news and global news. We've really lost touch with our immediate bubble. And now, don't get me wrong, if you are super into politics, especially everything that's going on right now, is a lot of unrest, like protests and raids and all these things. Regardless of what side of the fence you might be on with those things, that's stressful. It's a stressful time that we're living in. If you know you want to be super involved in that, that means a lot to you to do something, great. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you know that's not your thing, leave these things, like what's going on in our communities, leave that to the people that want to do something about it, that want to be involved. That's best suited with them. But if that's not your thing, and that's okay, focus on your circle, focus on your immediate bubble. That's spending time with people that you care about, doing the things you enjoy, the things you love. Be present at work. Go sit out on your patio, sit out on your porch, watch the sunset. It sounds, I think what's hard about this is that sounds so simple, and it is. That idea is simple, right? Just slow down. It's hard. We've been trained to go non-stop. Our brains have a million tabs open all the time, and we're exhausted, and it's catching up to us. And that is not just going to get better. We're not going to outwork that. We're not going to outgrind that. That's going to get worse. You've really got to pause and look at what gives you purpose. Look at what gives you meaning. Focus on you. Focus on your inner circle, your inner bubble, your community. We're so detached from that right now. We're feeling it. And that is, make sure I don't get hit by a car here. That is how we've evolved. And the advancement of technology, it's brought some awesome things. It has brought a lot of problems, and it has really detached us from ourselves. So you're not crazy. You're not insane. You're not doing anything wrong right now. If you are a rational, reasonable, caring person, how are you not depressed right now? How could you not be stressed with everything going on? How could you not be? It's your emotions telling you something's wrong. And there is a collective rumbling right now. There is a collective awakening right now that is starting to happen. And it's important to recognize that as a society, we're adjusting. The pendulum is starting to swing a different way. We're coming out of a pandemic that really created a new normal. We're not going to be able to go back to how things were. And so where we're at now is a new normal, and that feels really uncertain. So in times of uncertainty, we tend to tribe up. We tend to go a little more rigid on our beliefs. That's a huge thing you're seeing politically right now. People just gravitating more towards the extremes of their party or their side. You've seen that with religion. So people are looking for a way to feel safe. And so right now our mission is, how do we be present again? How do we get back to just basics, slowing down, focusing on what matters to us, tuning out all the national stuff, the global stuff. And like I said, if that's what you're into, pursue that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it doesn't help me if I know what I want to work on, which is my career, my family, my friends, my relationships, my dogs, and then sit here and stress about the rest of the world nonstop. And that's a challenge to not do that. But I'm not helping myself by doing that. So right now, if you're feeling that, you're not crazy. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling out of touch with things, you're feeling not motivated, like things don't matter, you're normal. Your alarm systems are going off for a reason. We're really having a new awakening on what matters and what doesn't matter. And right now, as the human race, we're really starting to realize, a lot of the stuff that we used to value really just doesn't matter anymore. What does that mean moving forward? And I think that answer is going to be, there's a collective answer there and there's an individual answer, but you've got to find yours. And I think it starts with not beating yourself up for how you're handling things right now. The world is hard. And right now it's validating that, because if you're feeling like the world's hard, you're just a rational human being. Probably going to do some more videos on this topic, a little more in depth, have like a formal sit down and chat about it. But I just wanted to spit that out, because I've just been noticing that trend. A lot of these videos of people just feeling unmotivated, not knowing why. So there's a collective. We're going through this together. You're not alone. You're not crazy. We're going to work through this. We're just in the middle of finding, I don't even know if we're in the middle. We're probably at the beginning. Finding out a new normal. Life is shifting. We're really trying to catch up to what technology has done, and that's not all bad. We're riding a wave right now. We're not sure where that wave goes, and that feels really scary. But that's one thing that we've always done as a species, is we've navigated and we've adapted. We're doing that right now. It's just really accelerated, so it feels scary. But one of the best things we can do right now is let go of these things that we tend to hold on to, like the divisive things like politics and religion and other things that we act on out of fear, and start to become neighbors again, start to become friends again, start to become family again, really start to go back to what matters, what built us up as a community. That's how we evolved, our ability to create community and build things and support each other. We need to get back to those things.